Dear students, good morning. So we are going to look at the summary of the line 112, and today we are going to see the summary of night. And for the convenience, for our convenience, I have divided this section into two, part one and part two. The event that happens in night, I have divided into two parts, part one and part two. Today we will see what happens in part one of the night. Okay, let's get into the class. Before getting into the class, we'll just have a recap of our previous uh, day class lesson. Okay, a gentle recap. So, in the previous class, we saw what happened, the summary of noon, or what happened in the noon. It is the noon, and we see Sidi in the market with a magazine of a picture on it. And Sadiku um, comes to meet Sidi. And when Sadiku meets Sidi, she asks Sidi to marry. Sadiku asks Sidi to marry Baroka. She also says that becoming the wife of Baroka is a bliss, is a gift, because she will be the senior wife after the death of Baroka for the new Bale, or new head of the village. But Sidi refuses, saying that she is now the jewel of legend, and he is lion but an old lion. Now Sadiku asks Sidi at least to come to the dinner as an honor. But Sidi says that whoever comes to the dinner of Baroka will one day become the concubine. So she refuses to come to the dinner. At this time, Lakunle interferes and says how Baroka bribed the surveyor for stopping the railway track getting into Lujalli village. So this is shown as a flashback. And though Lakunle says that Baroka has bribed the public works department, stopped the railway track into the Lujalli village, they are not taken seriously by Sadiku and Sidi. They get away. And the scene shifts to Baroka's bedroom, where we see Baroka's favorite wife plucking the hair from his armpit. And Sadiku enters, the favorite wife gets away, and Sadiku enters, and Sadiku delivers a message of Sidi that she is not ready to marry Baroka as he is old. And Baroka gets angry, but he controls it, and he calls Sadiku and says, makes a cunning plan. He says that he has lost his manhood a week ago, and he is now no more a man. This is what Baroka says to Sadiku. He also asks Sadiku not to say this to anyone else. Sadiku promises and goes away from the bedroom of Baroka. So that we stopped in the last class. Now coming to today's class, what we are going to see. So the line and the jewel, summary of night, part 1. So Sidi is again seen in the marketplace. Sadiku arrives. She takes a small piece of wood. She considers it as a bale, Baroka. She begins to laugh and dance, holding the piece of wood. She says that women have at last taken down the mighty lion. At this time, Sadiku sees Sidi sitting in the marketplace. She calls her When Sidi comes to Sadiku, she tells her about Baroka's loss of manhood. Sidi laughs non-stop. Now Lakunle arrives to the place. He comes to Sidi and Sadiku. He asks the reason for their laughing. Sadiku says about the loss of manhood of Baroka to Lakunle. Lakunle is shocked to hear it. Sidi now asks Sadiku if she can go to Baroka's supper so that she can mock Baroka at the loss of his manhood and mock the loss of his manhood. And Sadiku gets excited by this idea. So Sadiku gives permission to Sidi to go to supper and mock Baroka. But Lakunli begs Sidi not to go and torture the old man. He also warns that he may get turned violent against her if he is irritated. But Sidi refuses to accept the words of Lakunli, so he leaves the marketplace. Now Sadiku and Lakunli is left. Sadiku calls Lakunli and says that Sidi is more beautiful and she will not marry you unless and otherwise he gives the bride price. Now Lakunli tells Sadiku to mind her own business, not to interfere in his love affair. Lakunli says that in a few years the whole village will be transformed like Lagos. He says there will be cars, new goods, modern park, newspaper, cocktail parties, and all which will be in this village, like Lagos. Sadiku does not understand what all these things, so she simply stares at Lakunli. He tells her that she must come to his school as he is not reformed. He asks Sadiku to change her attitude towards life. But Sadiku understands nothing. She simply stares at Lakunli. Now the scene shifts to Baroka's bedroom, where the city has gone to Baroka to see Baroka, to mock Baroka. So in Baroka's bedroom, the very Bale, Baroka wrestles with another man. Sidi enters. She admires the room. Baroka continues to wrestle. He asks her, Baroka asks her if there was no one to stop the unwanted stranger from entering his house. Now Baroka knows that Sidi has come, but still she asks the servant to stop the stranger entering into his house. At these words, Sidi is surprised. Now Baroka looks at Sidi. He starts to act a bit friendlier towards her. Sidi says that she has come to ask excuse. Baroka acts indifferently. He acts as if he does not know anything. Sidi becomes upset. She moves forward. Sidi starts to tease Baroka. She says that his favorite must be a gentlewoman. Her favorite is his wife, the latest wife. Sidi says that though Baroka has lost his manhood, his favorite wife, his youngest wife, is gentle towards him. That's what Sidi says to Baroka as a mockery. Now, Sidi means that even after the loss of his manhood, his favorite wife is gentle with him. Baroka looks at Sidi. He says that he never cares what women think about him. He sits and watches. Now, Sidi sits and watches the wrestling match. Sidi thinks the other man will win, the opponent man will win. Baroka says that other man must win because he only fights against people who can make him more strong. He further says that if he wins a match, he will find a new wrestler. He adds that he also changes wives when he is bored. Sidi tells Baroka a woman spoke to her that afternoon about a shooter, a person to marry her. Baroka asks if the man is rich. Sidi says it is rumored that he is rich. So this is the question and answer way. Now it goes on between Sidi and Baroka. Baroka asks if the shooter is young, but Sidi says he is old. She then mentions a rumor of Baroka's regarding snuff. Snuff is mukupodi. So she mentions that shooter has the habit of uh, uh, putting snuff. Baroka at this point gets angry. He says that this was misunderstood. He throws the wrestling opponent at the same time. Sidi happily laughs and dances at the victory of Baroka. After this, again the question game starts with Baroka. Baroka asks if the man is wise, can he beget children? Sidi says he could once upon a time beget children but cannot anymore now. Now Baroka understands that she is referring to him. So he simply smiles that perhaps maybe he says perhaps maybe he is storing his strength. Now Sidi laughs or giggles silently. Baroka speaks to himself. He complains to Sidi about Sadiku. He says, he turns to Sidi and asks if Sadiku has invented any story about me. That's what he asks. Sidi simply denies, nothing like that, he says. Now Baraka says that Sadiku always plays matchmaker without his permission, and it makes him it puts him in more trouble. Siddhi wonders. And slowly, Baroka saying this comes near Siddhi and sits near Siddhi. So we will continue the night summary of night in the next part 2 video. So till then, thank you for watching the video. Keep learning, keep loving literature, and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you, dear students.